In this lesson, let's perform post DCPromo configuration. To get the domain controller up and running after the DCPromo process, we need to update DNS configuration, configure forwarders, and create reverse lookup zones, and create a pointer records. And finally, we need to sum up the lesson with the keynotes. One thing that we notice after we log on to the domain controller for the first time is the network connection has the exclamation point. This is because the DNS server IP address has been updated by the DCPromo process. Let's check the network connection. Here we right-click on the network and click Properties. Then we click on the Ethernet 1 connection and click Properties, and we select Internet Protocol version 4 and click Properties. As you can see, the preferred DNS server has been changed to 127.0.0.1, which is the local loopback IP address. Let's change it to the IP address of the domain controller, which is 10.0.0.10, and we click OK, and we click Close, and we click Close. And thus is we have just updated the DNS server IP address for the domain controller. Since this domain controller has multiple interfaces, so the next step is to configure the DNS function of the domain controller to listen on the correct interface. To do that, we need to click on Start and click on Windows Administrative Tool, then DNS. Here we right-click on the DNS server name and click Properties. And on the Interfaces tab, we select only the following IP addresses, and we uncheck the IP address that we do not want the DNS server to listen, and click Apply. Next, we can configure forwarders. In forwarders, we can add the IP addresses of public DNS servers, which allows this DNS server to forward queries that it cannot find in its records too. As you can see, this is the private IP address of this DNS server, so we need to delete it. To do that, we need to select on the IP address and click Edit. Then we select the IP address and click Delete. Now let's add the public IP address of Google DNS, which is 8.8.8.8, and we click OK and click Apply, then click OK. Thus is we have just finished configuring the folders, and the network connection shows that the server now can connect to the internet. Let's test this DNS server using NS Lookup command. To do that, we need to open command prompt, then issue the command NS Lookup, then hit enter. As you can see, this DNS server has been configured with the correct IP address, but it cannot resolve the server name. The reason is that we have not configured reverse lookup zones in this DNS server. Let's do that. To configure, let's click on reverse lookup zones, then right click, then select new zone, then click next. And here we want to configure the primary zone for this DNS server, so click next. And we want to replicate DNS records from this DNS server to all DNS servers running on domain controllers in this domain itlifeskills.local. So click next, and here we click next, and here we need to type in the network ID of the network that this DNS server belongs to. So we need to type in 10.0.0, then click next, and we select the default option, allow only secure dynamic updates, then click next and finish. That's it, we have just configured reverse lookup zones for this DNS server. Now let's verify the records in the zone that we have just created. To do that, we need to click on reverse lookup zones, then click on the zone name. As you can see, the zone currently only contains the default records that it inherits from the parent folder. Let's create the pointer records. To do that, we need to click on the forward lookup zones, then click on the zone name itlifeskills.local. As you can see, in this zone, it has the A records for this DNS server, which is the domain controller also. Let's right click on the records and click properties. As you can see, this is the A records. It resolves the server name to the IP address. To create the pointer records, we just need to click update associated pointer records and then click apply and click OK. Now let's verify the records in the reverse lookup zone by clicking on the zone. Then here we right click and click refresh. And this is the pointer records. Let's open it. So the pointer records will resolve from the IP address to this host name. Let's click OK. Now let's verify the configuration by opening the command prompt and issue the command nslookup, then hit enter. As you can see, the nslookup can resolve to this server name from this IP address. Everything looks good. We have just finished post DCPromo configurations. Let's read the keynotes.